Hamers! Just kidding. Hey, what's going on? This is Sunday night's episode with the original host / co-host of American Hammers TV, Lee, and myself, Tim. We got a good friend from Richmond, Virginia tonight. And
What's up?
This is Ben from Richmond. So we've actually had somebody else from Richmond on the show not too long ago.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
But I don't think, unfortunately, you're of age to go hang out with him at the bar. Is that true?
Yeah.
Soon enough. A couple more years, man. You will.
Two more years.
Give him time to build up the group, and then you can just slide right in. Yeah.
Yep.
Never had a drink, Ben.
No, never.
Definitely not. Never.
Wow.
Never.
You're really gonna like it when you get started. Yeah, you're really gonna.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a nice experience for you.
Well, you got a couple cool stories. I know just from reviewing your Twitter and everything. First and foremost, how did you get into West Ham?
So actually, I got into it through YouTube. I don't know if you know who Spencer FC is. Spencer FC.
That was one of the first I watched.
Yep. So like I've always liked soccer growing up, but like I never really had a team. Like I liked Barcelona when I was younger, and I liked Chelsea when I was younger, like when they had Drogba and Shevchenko. But that's like all the soccer I watched. And then like I started watching YouTube and found Spencer FC, and he was doing his vlogs at the game. And I was like, man, those fans are so passionate, and like it's not like the typical United States soccer fan where it's Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man U, Arsenal. So I wanted to find a team that was kind of like under the radar, and we're starting to work our way back up. But that's how I got into it, was actually through watching Spencer FC.
Yeah, no, honest to God, he was one of the first that I watched as well. It was him. I think Post Match Plant was the first thing I ever saw, to be honest with you. But
okay, I watched that too.
But because of that, I ended up searching for more West Ham content, which Spencer FC was one of the original ones that popped up, and Hammer and Talk, the crazy redheaded guy, Jay, love him to death. I miss him. And then Hammer's Chat, obviously, and it's just since then there's been that some that have come and gone. But yeah, those definitely, they were a major part of the reason why we're doing what we're doing. So that's cool, man. So do you have any other friends or family that are into West Ham as well?
So actually, for my high school graduation present, I was lucky enough and blessed enough to go to London to watch a game with my mom and dad. I went I think it must have been 2 Marches ago. Went to Southampton versus West Ham at the stadium, and I could drink there. It was legal there. I was 18 at the time, so I was able to drink. Strongbow was my drink. That was my favorite one that I tried. But yeah, I went to the Southampton West Ham game, and I got my mom and my dad into the whole West Ham thing, and my 2 older brothers. So that's like my little West Ham group, because we all played soccer growing up, so we just love and adore it. And so yeah, they won 3-1. It was a fantastic experience. I did the game day tour of the stadium too during in the morning, and that was a really, really cool experience. You literally got to go everywhere inside London Stadium. Nice. And of course, the game was fantastic. Atmosphere was really, really good, and that was at a time that we really needed points because we were fighting relegation late at the end of that year with Moyes. God,
yeah,
can't even imagine him being our manager now. But yeah,
no.
People wanted to say, but listen,
so
Parents of the Year.
Yes.
They win Parents of the Year for that one. Good on them.
Yeah. I remember that game too. We really needed that game. That we were desperate for. That was a huge win. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Arnautovic played great in that game. He played fantastic.
I remember that. It's maybe that was the season he basically kept us up. I mean, anybody else? That's why I bought his shirt that season. He kept us up. So. That's all right. As I've said many times, I still wear it. Nobody here knows.
Don't worry. My first West Ham jersey was a Payet jersey, and that was the January transfer window that he left. So yeah, and it's that that black the black third kit we had with the collar.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that shirt, but I can't wear it because Pyatt's on the back.
Well, at the same time, I'd wear it.
I would wear it. They're time capsules, Ben. I think of them as time capsules. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't wear it in London, but I'd wear it.
Right.
I can wear it around America. It's fine.
Yeah.
He
played an integral part, right, Lee?
What's that?
He played an integral part of our.
Absolutely. Yeah, listen, I mean, we had our best season in recent years with him. Everybody loved him. I mean, I think of my shirts as time capsules. I got a Scotty Parker. I got a Matt Jarvis from when I thought he was going to be a good player.
He was.
Well, he was for a while. He was.
He was okay.
Yeah. I mean, so, you never know what's going to happen. You get somebody's name on the back of a shirt. You take your chances. But I figure, to me, it's a memory of that season, and that's how I look at it. So,
before we go any further, let's. I was listening to the American West Ham podcast the other day or the other week. I can't remember. I listen to so many podcasts, but they did bring up a good question, and that is on these lines. So with the amount of Pyatt jerseys, Arnautovic jerseys, and talking about with players leaving after some people feel that it's right after you buy the jersey, they end up getting hurt for a long time or so. And also at our age and such. Do you continue to buy numbers in the back? I mean, with names in the back, or do you prefer the blank? Or
honestly, I really think it's a bare jersey if it doesn't have a name on the back. I feel like it doesn't have any meaning if you wear it. So that's why I always, if I ever get a jersey, it's with a name on the back. I got the 2 seasons ago one. And I have Lanzini on the back, but I thought he was going to leave this window, but he ended up signing an extension, which is awesome. But yeah, I definitely every soccer jersey I have has a name on the back of it. I think it's important to have a connection with a player like that.
Yeah,
that's a good argument. I mean, that is.
Most of mine, I have names. Most of mine, not all of them. I have names on the back of most of them. Now the white long sleeve shirt I have, Tim, from I think it was the first season at the Olympic Stadium. I really love that one. That doesn't have a name on the back, but I like getting names on the back. Again, it reminds me of that season. It reminds me of why I love that player at the time, even if you come to hate him later on. It's a time capsule. And yeah, as I said, if I were going to the match every Saturday, I wouldn't wear an out-of-it shirt to the match. But walking around Chelmsford and Lowell, yeah, nobody knows. Nobody cares. Walking around,
they
don't pay attention.
I don't have a single name or number on the back of any of my jerseys, and that just is because I don't want to spend the extra money on it. Usually they're expensive as they are, and then you tack on the the printing fees and the patch fees, and the name is X amount, the number is this amount, and then you can also add the Premier League patch for an additional £2 on each. I mean, it gets crazy. So, and that plus the shipping costs and everything like that, I just, I'm cool with it being, as long as there's a sponsor on the jersey. What I don't get is the people that bought the junior kits with no sponsor on the front. That to me is blank. Yeah. That to me is very bare. And what is that? It's just got a badge on it.
But it's a kid. It's a kid though, so they probably don't care.
No, adults. I'm talking about adults. When this current season, when the new kits first came out this season.
Oh yeah, without the
things like, I'm not getting a Betway. Boo hoo! I want it. It looks sexy without it. And I'm like,
no, I don't agree.
I like the white shirt without it. I'm sorry, I do. This season's away shirt.
I think the black makes it pop, man.
I like the white. I haven't got a jersey this season yet, but I really want to get the white one. That's my favorite, and I want the Bassett and gold on the side. I think that looks awesome.
I think that comes no matter what. I think that comes no matter what. Yeah.
Oh, with the home one too?
Don't bleach it. Don't mind my jersey, my white one, ended up in the wash with the white clothes. Bleached it, and the Umbro stitched logo is now Liverpool red.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Oh my god!
That's awful. I never bleach anything though, but that's awful.
Yeah, me either.
And I'm talking like blinding, and
that hurts me, man, because I love my.
But it's bizarre because the collar that also has the same color. I mean, because it's not stitching The collar, it's still the normal claret color. The only thing that changed was the umbro, the stitching on the. It was bizarre.
That's weird.
I treat like gold. I absolutely like. They're precious to me. I have them in a special place in my closet. That's true. I do. Anybody who handles them has to follow a certain protocol. No, it's true. I'm sorry. I will be a dick about that around my house. I will be. So because I try not to be about other things, although I probably feel about that I will be, because honestly, it's because man, they're expensive and they're hard to get over here, and I don't know. Anyway.
Especially the macarons, man. Those things, if you don't treat them nicely, I mean, it's ugly. But no, I have the light blue third kit from the 17-18 season with a collar and the old school badge, and finally the T on the Betway is starting to peel.
Is that the white? Is that the white and blue one, like the whitish blue one?
It's super light blue, light blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. It.
Well, the Betway. I mean, I don't really mind the Betway thing. The only thing is, like, I kind of don't wear those to church. And yes, I do sometimes wear football shirts to church. And yes, I do go to church on Sundays. But I sort of. I mean, I don't think anybody would really care, but I kind of avoid the Betway ones there. So
the whole betting thing.
Well, I don't think. I mean, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just don't want to trigger anybody. You know what I mean? I don't think most people who go to our church would care. They're pretty laid back and progressive. But
there's a Sunday league team here in Massachusetts that made national news, like on Soccer FC or ESPN Soccer and all those websites. For a Sunday league team with RedTube on the front of their jersey.
Yep.
And it's crazy, man. So for those who don't know what RedTube is, you just might find.
We have no idea.
Just might find some adult imagery and adult motion and imagery.
Ben has never had a drink, and Ben has never been on RedTube because Ben's only like 14, so
no.
I'm an adult. I'm an adult.
Who's jam you?
No,
that's funny.
When you get to be 45, anybody under 25 is just like, I don't know.
That's true. Real quick, just want to say, listen, man. Where the hell have you been, Charlie Walsh? Missed you. Seriously, I've not seen you in one of our videos in a long time. But thank you for popping back. Gabe's in there, obviously. Lucas, who's been on our show a couple times, who's also working on getting a podcast together for our network, as well as helping out behind the scenes. And what did I say, Gabe and Neil from Down Under, man. He was watching our 2 p.m. interview today. So at 2 p.m. today, Eastern time, we interviewed, John Nolan got to interview Matt from Irons United. We've been trying to find all the different West Ham YouTube shows like Hammer's Chat and West Ham Fan TV and try to. And obviously Irons United, and we had John Phillips from JPWSU TV, and we haven't had Flump 9 yet. We have not had, what's his name, Fatal LG, Liam, who does the away, what do you call it, the match day vlogs. Love him. If you haven't seen it, check it out. We he gave us a match prediction, which I posted earlier today for the Aston Villa match, and he's going to be doing it with us soon, so we can get his story. But anyway, we had a great interview with the guy from Irons United, one of like 10 people who work for them. So we're basically trying to let everybody get, showcased. So all the American viewers and everybody else. Well, thank you, Charlie.
I keep clicking on the wrong ones, but yes.
I appreciate that. And I missed you. I really did, though. I thought I was worried about you, actually. But
and I can't believe the first time we've ever talked about kits is the first time on this show that I have not worn a West Ham shirt.
Wow.
Because I took because I took the boys to Legoland. We got home kind of late. I just came up and So yeah, first time we were talking about kits, it figures. So Ben, are you like in a group watching games in Richmond, or do you watch like on your own, or what's your situation there?
Well, at home, my family and I would watch them. But
like he got his mom and dad into it now, so he can watch it with and also his brother, right? You said?
Yeah, both my older brothers.
Oh, but yeah, you're at school though.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just about to say. Now that I'm at school, one of my roommates likes Manchester United, and so we'll watch the games together. But I don't think anybody that goes to school here likes West Ham. So I just watch them by myself here, and I haven't really found anything in Richmond. I think the closest thing is probably the DC Hammers, if anything. So yeah,
there is a group.
Have you gone up to be with them? Have you gone to watch a game with them?
Who? No, I want to. I want to really bad. That'd be fun.
So there's DC Hammers, DC Irons. There's two different groups, and then there's Maryland Hammers, which aren't that far as well. And then there's a guy. I think there's a group. He said there was at least 3 people, right? Lee, when we had the guy from Richmond on, were you on that show?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I think that's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah. There is some people in Richmond. I know there's a Virginia Hammers on Facebook.
Really?
I don't know where in Virginia that group is, but I know that the guy that we had on from Richmond is definitely recruiting for people. But again, I'm assuming. See that? Listen, that's the thing here. If you're willing to get up in the morning and go to these places that are open, that are showing these matches. I brought my 11-year-old son to the game with the Philly Hammers. It all depends on the bar themselves. If it's a restaurant/bar or if it's a bar that serves food, as long as the kid's with an adult. I mean, and by kid, I mean anybody under 21, dude. So I'm not calling you a kid. I'm just saying. So if you can find out if these Richmond guys are at a place that, that allow people under 21, fucking go.
Almost every
Trust me, I want to, but I haven't found I haven't seen anyone.
Well, but you're in college now, right? Are you in college? Are you at school now?
Mm-hmm.
James Madison, you said, right?
Yeah.
And now, where is that exactly?
It's in Northern Virginia.
Okay, so you're relatively close to DC, I guess.
Yeah, probably 2 hours from DC.
Oh, that's not super close then. All right, and also I'm thinking so you are a college student, and you might have better things to do on Friday night/Saturday morning and get up.
No, trust me. Whatever happens on Friday night, it doesn't matter. I'm always up for West Ham. Always up. Cannot miss a game.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So listen, dude, all you got to do is just go onto eBay, buy the 8 West Ham stickers for $1 from China and get it shipped to you, and then literally just toss them all over the university. And then,
honestly,
just keep wearing your shirts out there, and then someone's going to come up to you and be like, hey, holy shit, you're a Hammer too.
Oh,
and there you go.
Actually, in one of my health classes, this guy came up to me after class because I was wearing my Lanzini jersey, and he was from Southampton, and he's a freshman at JMU, and he's talking in his British accent, and he's a Southampton fan. I told him about how I went to the game and stuff, and it was pretty cool. But other than that, I really haven't seen anyone with a West Ham jersey at all, or that.
Well, when we play Southampton, get together with him and watch a match. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you got to go convert him, right? You got to go convert him. You got to go
I don't think you've heard an Englishman from Southampton, though.
Yeah, not the kid from Southampton. I mean, other people in your.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And listen, if they're football fans at all, right? If they're soccer fans at all, just invite them on Saturday mornings and just say, hey, come over and watch. And maybe they'll be West Ham fans too. I mean, I think it's great when people we talk about on the show, people talk about converting neutrals to West Ham. I think it's fantastic, and also probably abusive emotionally and psychologically, but still, still cool though.
For real.
So cool.
Oh my God. Oh, geez. The last 2 seasons just were so bad to watch. It was up and down all the time. They play with your emotions. They play with your emotions.
They do. But that's why we're.
I'm gonna be right back. You guys, hold on one second. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna be right back. I have to fix an internet issue. All right. So just don't mind me.
I think it's why we're a cut above most supporters. I really do. I do. I think it's because we have character, as I always say, that people don't have if they support the top six and they're just glory hunters.
Yep, exactly. That's what I said when like I chose to support West Ham. I didn't want to be like the typical soccer fan in America and choose one of the top teams. Like it's the norm, and West Ham's outside of the norm, and it's different. And I like that. It's in a very attractive football club to like.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, we have been in the Premier League, since most of the existence of the Premier League, and I mean, it's not as though you're supporting, Hartlepool or somebody. I mean, we're not, we're not going crazy here, supporting like Truro City or something in the National League South. I mean, it's still a big club, but it's not a top six sort of world beating, So yeah, I don't think of myself as a winner, so I don't know why I would support a winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, exactly. I thought it also has to do with like the hope of, just the hope of one day getting it. You know what I mean? The hope of one day being part of that winning team.
And
just because you started from the bottom, and then
that's right.
You're at the
exactly.
Top. I was there when we were down and out. I was there when we had never won the league in our history. I was there, in the times we're talking about right now. You can't have any. And James Corden actually talks about this. There's a clip on YouTube somewhere about James Corden. He's talking.
Yeah, he's a West Ham fan.
Yeah, and he's talking about why you should support West Ham. He says if you want to have credibility with English fans, you should support West Ham or a club like West Ham. So you can say, I was in it. If we ever do end up with a massively wealthy owner or a huge amount of success, it hasn't happened in 125 years, but if we ever do, you could say
you can't just say we jumped on the bandwagon because we're there the whole time.
Right. I mean, that's we were there the whole time. Exactly.
So before we get into the halfway mark, which we're about 7 minutes away, tell us about your experience at the USA Friendly. I'm not the USA Friendly. I hate saying that. Let me rephrase that. The time that West Ham visited North Carolina.
Yeah. So that was in 2016. 2016.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So my grandparents actually live in Cary. So my mom and I, we were actually at the beach the week before that, and I didn't even know they were having a friendly. And then my mom and I saw that, and we're like, we have to go. Like, there's not a lot of times when West Ham is going to come to America, so you really have to make the most of it and go to it. So that was my first game. I went to Cary, and so I was sitting on the left side, and the West Ham fans were like all in the right corner, and they were singing Bubbles from the beginning. It was fantastic. It was a great game. There's actually a weather delay, and all the West Ham fans went under like the hangover, and they were just chanting songs for like the whole 30 to 45 minutes until the game resumed. And it was like Payet, it was Irons, it was blowing bubbles, it was everything. And like, that's why I would love to watch it with a group, to like have that connection and have that joy together or lose together. It's a lot more fun. But that game was really like the kickstart of me supporting West Ham, I would say.
Yeah. So you got to seriously, I got to connect you with that other guy from Richmond, because
yes, please.
You either got to. I tell this to everybody: if you don't have a group, you got to either start your own, or you got to help the people who have one, even if it's small, help them grow it. Because there's nothing like it. I visited the Dallas Hammers. I visited, which is one of the bigger groups in the country. I visited the Philly Hammers, and listen, I can't describe it. Even one group had 25, 30 people there, and then the other group had 16 people there. We've also gone to Boston, and they had me, Lee, and one other guy. So
yeah,
but the point is, there's nothing like watching it with other people, with other West Ham fans. Like
I
you
agree.
said, you know what I mean? And
it's a lot more fun.
Just make it happen. You got to make it happen.
I honestly, I will. It's honestly so much more.
I'll link you up after the show for sure with him.
Awesome, thank you.
Here ourselves, Tim, I was ready to skip out of work tomorrow afternoon and have Ken come down, and I wanted to see if you could come down for Villa, and then my wife got sick, and she's very sick and contagious. I can't really have anybody in the house, so.
Oh no!
Yeah. We got an open house at my work tomorrow, and it's the worst time in the world. Like, not tomorrow. We have an open house on Tuesday, and tomorrow is clean the warehouse day. and to prepare it for the So there's no way in hell I'm gonna have my phone in my pocket with my headphones in. I'm gonna listen to the game on the audio.
Weekday games are the toughest. I mean, well,
it does suck.
Listen, you get. My problem is I coach my younger son's soccer team now on Saturday mornings, and so almost every Saturday morning, either a 9 o'clock game or a 10:30 game, it's in the way of everything. But
me too now. Yeah.
But that ends in the winter, so it's only for a couple of months, and then it's over by November. It's true. You got to at least have a group you can go to when you have the chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
It's so lonely to watch the game alone.
I know.
And it's so
because when you score, there's no one high five or get excited with. You're just there by yourself, and then you go on Twitter to see what everyone else is saying about the game. That's what I do.
Social media, exactly. I end up, which is kind of a poor substitute for real life, but it's
I agree.
Nothing.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was going to drop some. I was going to hop into Google and type out West Ham and see what pops up in the news, but almost everything is about the match tomorrow. So let's just discuss the match, I suppose. Ben, what are your thoughts heading into tomorrow?
I think we're on a roll right now. I think we're doing pretty good. Honestly, I'd go with the same lineup we did last game. There's no reason to change it. Although Ogbonna's really inconsistent for me. And I feel like Balbuena hasn't gotten a chance this season to kind of solidify his place. Mm-hmm. So that's the one I'm kind of worried about. But definitely Masuaku, Fredericks on the wingbacks, Noble, Rice in the midfield, and then Felipe, Manu, and Yarmolenko with Haller up top, I think is definitely the lineup we should use. But I would keep Ogbonna. I'd keep Ogbonna because he's been on a good streak.
What do you think, Lee?
The only concern I've heard about Lanzini is that he might be kind of tired. I think he just got back from international duty Friday, something like that. Honestly, though, he's a professional footballer, and he should be fine. I mean, that's kind of the way I feel about these guys. I know it's a long way to travel, but professional footballer, and he's in shape, and he should be able to handle it. Ben, I'm with you. I don't think I would do anything to the starting 11, with the possible exception of getting Balbuena in the place of Ogbonna, but Ogbonna seems to be playing well, so if Ogbonna starts, it won't bother me. I think I read somewhere, I think Charlie mentioned in the chat earlier, that if we win tomorrow, we'll go third in the table.
I saw that. That'd be insane.
But if we win 12-0, we'll be second.
That's correct. 12-0 will be second. However, with a chance to move up in the table significantly, there's no way we win. We'll probably draw.
Yeah, I know. Remember last season?
We'll probably draw. Probably like a 2-2, and we one of those things where Grealish scores in the 94th minute or something, like the 4th minute of injury time to peg us back. I don't know. I hate weekday games. I don't know what our record is in them. I just don't like them. I don't like being at work during a game.
It's at home, right? It's at home.
No, it's
oh God, that's gonna be a tough one.
And they've had a terrible start to the season, which is another reason why I don't think we're gonna win. Because
exactly
every indicator points to us winning, so I don't see it happening.
It always happens.
I don't know, Tim. What do you think, Tim?
Ben, you were going to say something. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I was going to say that that comment they were talking about earlier about if we win, we go to third place.
Yeah.
I feel like last season we had so many games where we could have jumped into the top 6. Oh, yeah. So many games. Yeah. And we never did it. We never won any of those games. And we ended up finishing 10th or 9th or 10th.
Well,
10th.
On that note, I would say I agree with you 100%. But if the lineup changes, which it did every single match last season when we almost finished 7th. This will put us in a 7th. This will put us in a 6th. The lineup shifted completely.
Yep.
He couldn't make up his mind. It was bizarre, bananas, whatever you want to call it. So everybody's saying stick with the lineup, and he has done a couple matches now in a row, and which is shocking to me. But anyway,
yeah.
About Pellegrini. So now that he has that lineup, and if we see the team sheet tomorrow and it says something different, then yeah, absolutely, there goes our fucking chance at third. I think that, if we stay, no, seriously, I think that if the lineup's the same, I'm telling you, we'll we'll put some ass whooping on Villa, and it'll be embarrassing and for them, which would be great. But anyway, it's going to be embarrassing for us if we change anything, because why would you break up the rhythm?
Let's do this now. Score predictions to me are kind of ridiculous if you don't even know the starting 11, which we won't know until tomorrow, obviously.
Damn it!
But you know what? I mean, what? You don't want to do it?
Listen. Score predictions. I have to say Villa's going to win.
No, me too.
Because every time I predict West Ham to win, if in a score prediction, it's just the opposite. So every time I've said we're going to lose, we won. So
listen. I've been. You guys can go ahead and take a drink. I've been on the TCU football message board for 22 years now, and I've been predicting TCU to lose for 22 years. And if you look at our record since 2000, it's really pretty good. so I got to stick with what I'm doing. No, if I were to give an honest prediction, I would honestly say I would say 2-2. I think we're still, despite the fact that we kept Pinky, whatever his name is, off the score sheet, which nobody else has.
Yeah,
exactly. The back, I think 2-2, and it's a total kick to the balls goal in like the 90th minute by Villa that does it.
All right, I have to say two things before we go any further, because you just reminded me, and I'm going to forget. I don't want to forget these points. This is awesome. Ready? You guys ready? Everybody ready to drink in the chat room? Everybody ready? If James Tompkins started against Tottenham on Saturday, they would not have lost 4-0. He was on the bench, which we know, but it's a good sign he's on the bench, which is great. He wants to be seen.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to play for Palace because he wants to come home.
Yeah.
All right. So James Tompkins, no, drink. Anyway, secondly, I'm in this little score predictor competition with the guys from Hammers Polls and Green Street Hammers and a couple other people. Okay. And we do like score predictions every single week. I got 70 points because I predicted Norwich 3, Manchester City 2.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how I did. And the thing is, the funny thing is I predicted that like 3 weeks ago before I set my predictions 2 weeks out.
There's no way.
I swear to God, I'll screenshot this.
Okay.
If I can find it.
There's no way.
I swear to God.
Did you put money on that game? Did you put money on that game?
No, it's just this. It's just it's kind of like fantasy football, but it's just score predictions. And
no way.
I'm telling you. I shocked the shit out of myself because I forgot.
Well, congratulations.
I'm like, how did I get 93 points this week? Oh, 70 points from that one game.
The exact score of any game is insane, but then to predict a game like that.
Because I had that feeling like 3 weeks ago that Norwich is still a good team, and they gave, even though they got smashed by Liverpool week 1 and we smashed them, they still play expansive football. And I'm telling you that Manchester City is going to lose to somebody, and it's going to be not us because we just can't beat the teams. But the teams shittier than us will beat them. They're not going to go undefeated. So I was like, you know what? No, they're going to win. And if they are going to win, it's only going to be like a goal because Manchester City will always score. So that was my thought process on. Let me friggin' find this.
So Ben, what's crazy score prediction? Do you have? Can you put numbers behind it, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's one of those games that's really tight up until the end. But I think it's one of those games that if we're trying to push into the top 6, it's the kind of game we need to win 1-0. I think it's that kind of game. It's Aston Villa away. And I think if we want to push forward into the top 6, it's one of those games where we need to come out with a win, but it's going to be tight. So I think it's going to be 1-0.
I would love a clean sheet would make me very happy because that would show a lot of improvement in our defense. And then Tim wouldn't be able to talk about Fabianski in the next show. So.
You don't like Fabianski?
I love Fabianski. I don't think he's Hammer of the Year. I don't like goalkeepers being Hammer of the Year. And I don't feel that someone who let in 54 goals last season should be considered. I mean, after the 40th goal of a season, they should be just completely eliminated from any talk about Hammer of the Year, despite how many saves. Because the point is, it's not how many you save; it's how many you let in. It reflects our record of the season. If we can't. You're a goalkeeper. Your job is to prevent the ball from going in the net. Right? That's your one.
He did make the most saves. He did. But
he also let in like the fucking 6th most. So.
Okay, so would you have given it to Rice? You would have given
absolutely.
It to Rice?
I voted for Rice.
Okay,
100%.
I mean, I get that. I think that's fair.
I agree. I think that's a great counterpoint.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair.
I'm getting really pissed off because I can't find this goddamn thing.
Tim wrote in James Tompkins for Hammer of the Year. Tim writes in James Tompkins for Hammer of the Year.
How'd you know? No, I voted for.
I still write in Scott Parker. That's what I do. So
I voted for what's his name?
He was kind of my first. Well, Tyler Candy was my first love, but Scott Parker was kind of my first love of this generation. So.
Yeah, Pyatt was my first love.
Oh, of course. Break your heart every time, just like West Ham.
Yeah.
Break your heart every time. Yep.
I know.
Just like a Frenchman.
He was so good. Oh, my God. I miss him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think it was perfect for us, too. It was a perfect marriage of player and club, and neither has been quite the same since. Like, he's not the same player at West Ham.
No. I think Lanzini was good back then, but now, like, after his injury, I think he's really good. And to see them two play together now, and Felipe Anderson and Hilaire up top, I mean, that would be insane. Insane.
I know. But you know what? We have to. I like where we're headed with our club and with our players. So
yeah, I do too. I think we've been taking big strides. Big strides.
Apparently, we fought off Bayern Munich.
I read that for Hilaire. Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, Bayern, like
45 million's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. But I mean, that's the biggest club in Germany. That's Champions League. Listen, I mean, that's true. We're massive. What can I tell you? We're a massive club.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
He's better than Maxi Gomez. He's a lot better than Mitrovic. Remember all the Mitrovic talk?
Yeah. Mitrovic. We were, oh my gosh, can we just go through all the strikers we were linked with this summer? I mean, Mitrovic, who else? Rondon. Like all these championship strikers. Then Maxi.
Yeah, Maxi. There's another Croatian guy or something. I can't remember his name. Nick would remember. Nick, for the Croatian guy who watches our show, would remember. But anyway, yeah, there's a ton of them. Alaire's the first legitimate striker we've had since Dean Ashton. I mean, and that's you're going back like a decade, and we haven't really had a pure striker or a good striker since then. We've spent some money on him, but
I feel like he's the perfect mix between Andy Carroll and Arnautovic. I feel like he's just like he's got like the technical ability of Arnautovic and the hold-up play of Andy Carroll. I think it's just a perfect mix of them two. Let's just hope he doesn't get injured.
Callum Wilson, I forgot we talked about Callum Wilson too.
Oh, Callum Wilson, yeah.
What I love about Allaire is watching him score goals where he makes a run and comes out on the end of a cross. It's so simple. It's the simplest football, right? But we have not had that for like 10 years.
I know.
Who shows up streaking
consistently
across. We just haven't had that. I mean, Arnautovic should not be the winger.
Yeah, I thought Arnautovic was going to be that guy. I thought Chicho was going to be that guy, but I feel like we underused him, and I feel like he never really got a run of games where he could show his potential. But
I liked him, but he didn't fit into this.
I know. Yeah, he didn't. He absolutely didn't.
And then he went and scored against the U.S.
I know, 3-0
last week. Well, anyway, whoops! I sent the wrong one out there. Anyway, like Charlie's.
Oh my God!
I never wanted anybody to succeed at West Ham more than I wanted Jordan Hugill to succeed because he wanted to play for us at a time when nobody else wanted to play for us, when everybody else was down, when everybody else, with Carlos Baca and all these others laughing stocks of us during the close season. Jordan Hugill came on, and that guy was like bleeding claret and blue, and I wanted him so much to succeed. Wasn't good enough. Even with Sam Byron. I know Sam Byron played 90 minutes against Manchester City and played really well, but I mean, I don't feel as though we didn't see enough of him at West Ham. I think we know. I think if he went out and played.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
For Norwich against Man City, they'd probably give up 6 goals. He just had a good day, He had a good day.
All right, so this is the predictions thingamajig, right? So if I go to my predictions today, my internet is so bad tonight. It took me forever. I had to reset my password. Because I have my phone, I have it saved, but I don't remember where I saved it to. Yeah, anyway, so I have 4-2 tomorrow for West Ham.
Wow,
that's interesting.
Whoa, okay.
But down here, if you could just highlight this, man, I wish I could zoom It does say prediction 3-2.
No.
Result 3-2. 70 points.
All right. I believe you.
I got jack shit and everything else, though. But
you've got to start gambling if you can do stuff like that.
It's just that one game, though. Seriously, man.
But that is a money game right there. That's the money game. That's the prediction of all predictions right there. No one called that.
I'm damn close in all of mine. Look at that. 2-2. Result was 3-2. 2-1. The result was 2-2. Oh Jesus, fucking Chelsea. I hate Chelsea.
I hate Chelsea.
I hate Tottenham too. They fucked me up too.
I hate Tottenham.
1-1. The score was 1-0. 2-0. The score was 1-0. You know, what I mean, 3-3. I did predict the tie. It was 1-1. Yeah.
All right, Tim. Let's get you on this before we move on a little to Hammer's Pulse.
What?
We talked about Byram. Would you take Byram back? Gabe wants to know. Would you take Byram back at West? I wouldn't either. No, I don't think. I think we saw of him what we need to see of him.
Correct.
Yeah, he had a bunch of chances where he was in the team under Slav. I think for sure. I think he did get a good run of games that season, but then when Zabletta came in, that was his spot. And now I think Zabletta is more than qualified backup for Fredericks, who definitely has a first team spot nailed down.
Yeah, Ben Johnson too. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And let's not forget, Johnson had a great game against Manchester City himself. Last season, and which I mean, he's another kind of unproven player. I think Byram had a great day. Good for him. I'm glad he had it. I don't think it means that he's better than we thought he was.
No, Byram. Listen, I was super excited. I played with Byram a lot in my Football Manager. Went back when he was with Leeds. I'd always sign him because he was young and his rating was super high. And I was super excited when West Ham signed him, but then I actually saw him play, and I'm like, wow, this guy's kind of weak. You know what I mean?
He was always weak.
He was a pushed over, and he would get hit and he would fall, and
he was small and slow. I thought, and you got to be tough back there. You got to be.
Yeah, let's do some Hammers polls. How about that?
Hammers polls.
Hammers Polls time. Thanks to our buddies over there at Hammers Polls, or Buddy, or whatever.
By the way, if you're watching and you ordered a scarf, you are going to get your scarf. We've ordered them. They're on. They're
in production. That's all they need to know. They're in production. They'll come when they come. But, I'm gonna throw in. I got a couple random goodies that I'm gonna throw into a couple of the random orders that for people who. So basically, one of the people who already bought a scarf is going to get one free scarf. One random person who bought a scarf already, pre-ordered it, is going to get an extra one. Just one. And 3 other people are going to get a weatherproof vinyl West Ham logo, the new logo sticker for their car, for whatever. So I'm going to toss one of those in the envelope with their scarf when they come in. So they're basically 4 of the people who pre-ordered are going to get something inside their package, unless I can get my hands on some other goodies to give away and throw in there. I might even throw in, I don't know, I have an extra Dallas Hammer sticker, I think, somewhere. I gave one to Lee already, right?
I have two.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw one into one of the things, and I think I also have an extra Columbus E13 sticker as well, which is really cool. I can throw one of those in. I think I have one extra crossed hammer sticker I'm gonna throw in somewhere. I don't know. I'll look around, see what I can dish out. That's new. I'm not gonna give anybody anything used, obviously. So I feel bad for everybody who waited, who pre-ordered, but a couple of you will get a lucky little something as a thank you for your patience. Okay, so moving on.
Yep.
Who will win the battle for promotion to prepare to Premiership this season? From the former West Ham players who now manage these teams. Boyer out of Charlton, Parker in Fulham, Bilic, West Brom, or all of them.
I think if I had to choose one and I was confident in only one of them, I would definitely go with Bilic because they have started the season fantastically. I think I saw something that they haven't lost. They're the only team not to lose yet. And, of course, Diangana's on loan there, and he's doing very good, which is good for the club. Yeah. So, if I had to choose one, definitely Bilic.
Lee.
I'll obviously go with Scotty Parker. Bilic will collapse. I promise you Bilic will collapse. I guarantee you he'll collapse. He was only a good manager with West Ham because he had Dimitri Payet on the side. I know they're after a good start. I don't dislike him as a person. I do dislike him as a manager. He was taking us down before Moyes came and saved us. Just think about how that just sounded, but it's true. I think West Brom will collapse. I think if I had to pick one, I'd say Scotty Parker, who, what'll happen is Pellegrini will lead us to the Premier League title and then the Champions League. And then when he gracefully steps down, he'll hand over the reins to Scotty Parker, to our great.
I'm honestly okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, it's what's going to happen. So I'm just saying.
I'll take Lee Boyer. I love Scotty Parker to death, but I don't think Fulham's good enough. First and foremost, I don't think he can save them from dropping down to League One, which could happen. I love Scotty Parker. I love him more than any of those three. As a person, as a player, his time at West Ham. Lee Boyer, I'll get into that in a second. But Bilic, he's doing the best job right now. However, the draws will multiply, the ties will multiply, and he'll end up with a shitload of those. And after a while, they don't really add up. Those single points won't add up for him, and they will start to lose. Because they're balls to the wall right now, but it's a long season, and Bilic tends to overdo his players. And I'm surprised he hasn't played players out of position yet, which he will at some point. He's got to. That's all he knows is playing players out of position. He'll fuck them up. They'll get hurt, and he's going to have a lot of injuries. But halfway through the season, and they'll sink, just like you said, Lee. Now with Charlton, Charlton is one of those teams like Villa is now, or like Norwich, or like the teams that get promoted. Sheffield. I mean, the reason why they got promoted last year was because they might not have the best players, but they buy into what their manager's doing. And they proved that last year, actually the last 2 years at Charlton. I mean, they almost got promoted to Championship 2 years ago, but they lost to like Shrewsbury in the playoffs. Now, I think it was Shrewsbury, somebody in the playoffs anyway. So that's that. But then last year they got promoted, obviously. They're fantastic. They got Josh Cullen. And they're performing, they're overachieving, but at the same time, I mean, they remind me a lot of like, I don't know, look at Bournemouth. I mean, that's another team that no matter what, I mean, they don't have the best players either, but they buy into what their manager's doing. Same thing with Burnley. That's the reason why Burnley keeps staying up, because they're not the best players, but they buy into the manager's. It's like, not to use the reference everybody loves, but New England Patriots, man, they buy into, the system, man. They know their roles. Do your job, man. So anyway, I love that attitude that Lee Boyer's got going over there, and I really believe that they're definitely going to get promoted this year. And I don't know if it's going to be automatic or through the playoffs, but they got it going on, man. They're going to get promoted. So good on them.
Yeah, I kind of like Charlton. I have no problem with Charlton at all. I think it's sort of I don't know. They remind me of West Ham in a lot of ways. Actually,
they do.
If I wanted any one of those teams to come up, I would choose Charlton because we just had Fulham and they went down. They were really shit. And then West Brom is they were one of those teams that survived there for a while. But I'd rather see some new blood like we've got Sheffield now. Yeah. Charlton would be nice to
Charlton's got a beautiful, a nice little stadium, not that far from, from West Ham in South London. And it's 27,000. Over 27,000 capacity. Alan Kirbishley used to manage them. You also have Paulo Di Canio played for them for a brief period. If you guys remember that.
They almost went bankrupt at one point too.
I know. Yeah.
They've had massive financial problems, kind of the way we have in the last 15 to 20 years.
I just have this weird soft spot for them.
I do too. Yeah, I feel the same way. Plus, when I first started to watch the Premier League, if you go back 20 years when it was first on, we got that highlight show on Fox Sports. Charlton, they were a Premier League club back then. They were under Kirbishley. So I always thought of Charlton as being a Premier League club, which is kind of weird because they kind of weren't. But
I'm just gonna
that period of time,
Yeah, no, exactly.
So was Bradford City back then. So
I know. Yeah, I have a soft spot for Bradford City mainly because of the fire of '85. But
absolutely still the same.
Yeah, and they have a massive stadium. That's another club that they're down in League Two right now, which is embarrassing. But they have they have a massive stadium and a massive fan base, and they should, like, clubs like that, they should be further up, and they just piss poor management, club management, and then actual managers themselves as well. They've had a string of them. But anyway, I'm going to click on all of them since we each picked one of them just to see what the result was.
Okay.
So, so many of those Village supporters.
So wrong.
Still forget. I mean, it's so funny, man. You know what? Here we are. I am going to rant. Just give me a minute.
Do it.
Jesus Christ. Yep. All right. So first of all, we forget what he did to us as a player. He was a very good player, 100%. But he left us for a bigger club, and he said that, and we forget about that. And then when it came time after Allardyce left, we were looking for a new manager. It was between Bielsa. Are we fucking out of our minds that we didn't sign Bielsa? Benitez or Bilic, and we chose Bilic because the fans wanted Bilic. If you saw the outcry after Allardyce on social media, everybody was saying Bilic. Oh, he's West Ham. Oh yeah, West Ham. I'm like, really? You sure he's not Everton?
The legend.
I mean, seriously.
They used that word. They did.
That's I'm not joking. Seriously, if you guys do check. I mean, somehow check the old posts from back then, man. I'm telling you, it was ridiculous. It made me sick. Anyway, we signed the guy, and he couldn't manage for shit. I mean, he was given the gift of God. He was given the last season at the Bowl-In, so he had the atmosphere behind him. Okay, yep. He couldn't have done wrong. He had a squad who was super hungry. He had a super talented squad that was gifted to him. And then, they went on and had a great season, and they moved into the big stadium. What did he do? He started playing people out of position. He started showing his true colors as a fucking manager, which is not a manager. He's garbage anyway. And then he almost got us relegated. So now that he's gone out of the picture, everybody seems to forget that he almost got us relegated again. You know what I'm saying? That we forget about all the shit that he put us through. But it's not his fault. We have horrible owners, and the players are so blah, blah, blah. No.
West Ham, this is a club that hates people forever and ever if they betray us. I mean, Paul
except Bilic.
Jermaine Defoe, you go right on the list. We hate them forever and ever and ever if we feel betrayed by them. Bilic betrayed us as a player. He almost took us down as a manager. And even that season when we finished 7th, we had Dimitri Payet, probably the best, one of the 3 or 4 best players in the Premier League at the time. We had a team that very, very easily could have been a top 6, maybe even top 4 club. No joke. And they only managed.
Yeah, we were in there for a while.
That's what I'm saying. They managed to finish 7th, and that's because we collapsed at the end of the season again after the last game with the Bowl-In. Remember, we lost at Stoke toward the end of the season. Yes, there were great moments, but I'm telling you.
2 years in a row, 2 words, Astra Gugu.
Well, that too. I mean, the European.
He couldn't
couldn't
beat the Romanian farmers. Yeah,
the European.
That's sad. That's sad.
You guys remember that? I mean, that was him. I mean,
ridiculous.
Whatever. Yeah,
ridiculous.
So anyway, that's that. So again, just a disclaimer that that's my opinion, and don't give the channel shit over it. And everybody's entitled to opinions. No, seriously, I said something on Twitter once about it, and you wouldn't believe the backlash that we received. It's saying people unsubscribe because I said something bad about fucking Village. Are you serious? Anyway, just my personal opinion.
I don't get it. I'm with you. I don't get it. I don't know why people love it. I'll never understand it.
So we've already discussed this, but I guess we'll just go over it again briefly. Would you make any changes to the lineup tomorrow night against Villa? Let's start with Lee this time.
I don't think I would. I mean, again, if I did, it would be Balbuena for Ogbonna.
Yeah.
Because I do have more confidence in Balbuena. So if Pellegrini made that change, I think it'd be fine. It wouldn't bother me. I mean, if he doesn't make it, I don't have a problem with that either. Because Ogbonna's been playing much better than we've known him to play in the past. I say, listen, we've got a hot hand. We're coming off an international week. Most of our players are fairly well rested. Let's stick with it. I don't think I would.
Ben.
I agree with everything that Lee said, and we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe Balbuena for Ogbonna, but Ogbonna's been playing good, so I wouldn't change that. and Noble keeps his spot as well, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
100%.
I still think Wilshere will maybe end up in that spot towards the end of the season, but he really, really has to earn it because Noble is on great form. He's on fantastic form.
And just the club, the team itself. I mean, the atmosphere in the stadium. I mean, everything just feels right when Noble is playing there this season. Anyway, it was a big, dramatic change of everything, attitude amongst the players, amongst the fans. As soon as Noble got his start against Watford. And the results have shown. So let's just keep on going with it, right? I mean, so yeah, I'd say no, absolutely. And like I said, if there is a change, if we do see a change tomorrow, my prediction would be at best a draw. But we could easily lose if we try to fucking change things up. All right. So this was asked earlier in our previous show. So if you watched the earlier show, you're going to hear new opinions on that same question. So with the results, with the way results went yesterday, West Ham could potentially go into the top 5, but we know it's top 3. Do you agree with Don Hutch that the Hammers could go 4th and stay there this season? Yes or no, Ben?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We all know and love the West Ham that we support. There's no way we're going to go through the season without having that one streak of losses and that, well, we're all panic and everyone's going to panic for no reason. But I do think we have a very strong chance of Europa League. But I don't think we have. If there's no way we stay injury free, there's no way everything goes perfect. Everything has to go perfect for us to finish top 4. So it's not going to happen. But I do think Europa League is a very strong possibility.
Lee.
Yeah, the reason I don't think we'll be top 4 is because we were 1 to 2 injuries away from really struggling. We're very thin up front. If Aller goes down, we're very thin at striker. We've already lost Antonio. If we lose Yarmolenko again, we're looking at having to maybe press in for Fornal. We need more Snodgrass into the side. And I love Snodgrass's effort, but he's not a player who gets you into the top 4. I think we're too thin, and I think we will have an injury crisis at some point, and that'll knock us back. And but I'm with Ben. I think Europa League should be a very reasonable goal and one that we should reach.
Okay. Well, I think yes. I think we're going to finish top 3, like I predicted in the beginning of the season.
Wow.
I think it's because we finally have our Bill Belichick. I think that we have a guy like Manuel Pellegrini that can get the best out of players, who can actually mix and match. People know their roles in the club now. We had some growing pains last season and in the preseason, absolutely, and even the first game of the season. But I think that it's over. I think that bullshit's gone. That ship has sailed. I think that Ajeti could easily understand what he needs to do. I think if Aller got injured, I think that Antonio will come back at some point. So if Yarmolenko gets hurt, we're all set there. I mean, Antonio's a great substitute for that. Snodgrass, Wilshere, they can all fill roles, man. I think Ben Johnson can fill a role. I think Zabaleta can fill a role. I think literally, I love our squad right now. I really do. And the way that our starting 11 has been performing, as long as we keep that starting 11, stop mixing and matching, we keep that going forward. If we do have an injury, we definitely have one replacement for each particular person. If we start mixing and matching and trying to, disrupt the rhythm of our top players, then we could see some losses in the near future. But I don't know, man. I think the starting 11 that we have is scary, man. It's really scary. I just pray that Fredericks are weak points, like Fredericks and No way, Jose. He's man. He got he should have had man of the match last week and the week before that. I mean, if you look at his rating, his player rating, through the roof. His fantasy rating.
Going forward, he's great going forward and looking up. fan.
Yes, but he's starting to understand that he has to track back and stuff like that if he has to. But for the most part, he hasn't really had to. Now, Fredericks, on the other hand, they talked about it on the show earlier today that Fredericks, I mean, his highlight reel that they showed us before, right before we signed him, right? That was on the social media or whatever. It was him making just slide tackle after slide tackle after slide tackle because he's so fast. Because he was out of position.
Right.
He's always out of position on defense. He cannot defend for shit. He's amazing, the fastest player in the world. But again, Usain Bolt cannot play football. You know what I'm saying?
True. That's true.
So anyway, but that's just my personal opinion again. So just forget about that. But anyway, long story short, I believe yes, top 3, absolutely. As what's his name, Neil would say, absolutely. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean,
and I did not hate Croatians, Lucas. I saw that. Right. I understand you might feel that way because I don't like.
You know any Croatians? I don't know Croatians. I don't think
personally. No, but just Bilic and what was it? Siad Haksbanovic. Is he Croatian too, or was he Serbian? I can't remember. Serbian, something like that. Anyway, no, I don't hate all Croatians.
So I think we just looked at the same comment, Lee.
Serbian, Croatian, whatever. I mean, there's never been any problem here.
We have to wrap it up, so we're going to run into the. We're going to go straight into the quick-fire questions. Now, they're quick-fire questions. You can just answer with a word. You can answer if you want to elaborate on any of them. Feel free, but just remember that we are running on overtime, so don't take lee-winded breaths.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Lee-winded breaths. Yes. No. Meat pie or apple pie?
Apple pie.
I should probably take this off too. There we go. All right. Cool. Who's your favorite current West Ham player? And don't say Fredericks, or I'll slap you.
Definitely Lanzini for sure. Lanzini.
Awesome. That's a great choice.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
We've heard him a few times, but usually the Andersons and the Nobles and from various reasons, they usually come up or Fabs or someone. But no, that's a good one. I like hearing that. I like hearing different answers. All right, so who frustrates you most in the current West Ham squad? I think
Oh God.
Go ahead, say it. It's fine.
Who frustrates you most? I'll say sometimes Noble frustrates me because he has his good spells and he has his bad spells. But if someone frustrates me the most, I would probably say either Ogbonna or Yarmolenko, because Yarmolenko doesn't track back a lot of the time, and Fredericks is fucked. So maybe that's why he's so not tracking back all the time and always caught up. And Ogbonna just pisses me off because he just backs off so much and lets him have a shot, and he pisses me off. But probably I don't know. There's a couple. I don't know if I could pick one.
No, you're right. There's a lot of frustration. And again, they probably only frustrate us because we expect better and we want better out of them. And we know that they're better than they're doing. I know Fredericks is a better player than he's been doing. I know, Fabianski could let in less goals. And I know that, Masuaku could defend a little bit better. And, I know Ogbonna could, at one point, he was our best center back, dude. Back, 15, 16 season, he was probably our best. He had an amazing season. So we know that they can do it. And same thing with Cresswell. Cresswell's another one, man.
Yeah.
He used to be phenomenal.
I know.
That frustrates me that he's not, because we know that he can play like that.
I wonder if he's just lost it. I mean, he hasn't.
No, shit happens, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Is he just past his prime? He's not that old.
No,
he just seems slow. He seems slow.
Yeah.
Which is nuts because he was super fast. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, so
it's weird.
FA Cup or top 4 finish?
FA Cup.
Yes.
Yeah, boy. All right. Almost unanimous. I think we've only had one, maybe 2 people out of 50 plus people have asked this question at least. Maybe more than that. And almost all of them said FA Cup. It's because of the hardware, I guess. And then
because if we got into Champions League, we're not going to win it. But I'd rather win something it's still a prestigious competition, but it's not the Champions League, but it's a huge win.
Oh,
and
huge.
we haven't won shit in so long. So
20 years from
it'd be nice.
20 years from now, you could have the Mark Noble stand, right? Because you got Abby Moore, the Trevor Brooking, and the Billy Bonds. They all won the FA Cup. So if we're going to have the Mark Noble stand, we need Mark Noble to win a trophy. And I would prefer it to be the FA Cup. I mean,
yeah,
me too.
I agree.
Most likely, yeah.
All right. So what about West Ham do you love?
I just love how passionate the fans are, because not a lot of the teams, their fans, like Man United fans, Chelsea fans, they're not that passionate about their club. And I feel like every West Ham fan is super passionate and sticks with the team through the ups and downs, which a lot of the other people who support those big teams don't do.
They don't.
We literally need to get the footage of all of our shows that we've ever asked this question, and we need to literally string all of that answer. I mean, all those answers for this question all together and put it out there. And because I'm telling you, it's all the same in one way, shape, or form. And you are 100% right.
100%.
You are 100% right that we said a million times that, Man U fans, soulless, dude. They don't give a shit about anything. They don't even know who their academy players are. You couldn't walk up to an American Man U fan, right? Fan, whatever, and say, name me 5 players in your academy.
They couldn't name 5 players in the starting 11.
Name me 3. Name me 3 players on your women's team.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, geez.
I mean, we at least give a shit. You know what I'm saying? We give a shit about everything. We're passionate. Yes, exactly. So
women's team won this weekend. Women's team.
See it, dude. If you don't have it yet, anybody who's watching this, download the FA player.
Yes.
On Android or I don't know if it's actually an app. I maybe you have to do it from the website, thefa.com. I don't know. Anyway, I got the FA player and I got to watch the match today. It was beautiful. The commentary was fantastic, and I get to see the whole match. It was just awesome. Anyway, go ahead, Lee. Sorry.
No. That's all I was going to say. Just love the women's team. Love the support they're getting from our fans, and love the fact that, as you said, our fans care enough to know what the other 23s are doing, what the women are doing, what our kids are doing, all of it.
Special thanks to Reese and Allie, who do our weekly, it's now weekly, West Ham Women's Roundup, which is great.
The one Allie who goes to every game and is fantastic, and we just, sorry, there's something crawling around on the table in front of me here. I don't know what it is. My house is infested, evidently. Has been wonderful to us, and Reese, of course, as well.
They've been great, and they're helping educate, not just the American West Ham fans, but also the 60% of our subscribers who are from the UK and elsewhere. I mean, they have an opportunity to learn more about the club, the West Ham Women's Club. So I think it's a great idea. All right. So what about West Ham do you hate?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I hate how pessimistic we are and how we chew our players out and our owners out over the smallest things. I mean, literally, we'll win a game and then we'll lose a game and all hell will break loose on Twitter. And we can't, obviously we stick around and support our players, but at the same time, we give them so much shit. I can't even name all the stuff we say about how shit our players are all the time if we lose one game. So that's something I hate, that we're so negative and put all this bullshit out about our players instead of just supporting them all the time.
Yeah. Same here, man. That's why I've passed the buck on the Twitter. I can't handle the negativity. And it's all there. Really?
I try to post Twitter without reading it, because it is funny that the answer to what do you love and hate most about West Ham is almost the same thing.
The fans, support. Yeah. All right. So what sound makes you happy?
What sound makes me happy? Probably Bubbles. I have to go with Bubbles.
Good.
I have to go with Bubbles. And seeing that live at London Stadium was honestly one of the most breathtaking experiences I've ever had. I mean, it was just beautiful. It's everything that
was it a day game or a night game?
It was a 10 o'clock game, so it was a 3 o'clock game there. So just like an afternoon game. Yeah,
that same season I was there too, and I went to a night game, and then I went to a day game, and the day game it was literally day and night. The difference. The day game, it was so much louder, so much happier, so much. I mean, the result was better, obviously, so that helped. But the intro when the players are walking out, Bubbles right then and there was unreal, man. Unreal.
It's fantastic. I want to go back so bad.
Me too. What team do you love to beat?
Well, obviously, the obvious answer is Tottenham. However, I do like beating Palace.
Really?
I hate
Second time I've heard
Palace.
that.
Yeah, I hate Palace. But honestly, like I know probably everyone said Tottenham, and of course everybody loves beating Tottenham because we hate them. But I do like beating Palace and Man United. I really hate Man United too.
Yeah, I would say the second choice is like a tie between Chelsea and Man U. That we've heard. I'm surprised I don't hear Liverpool enough. I know I've heard a couple people say
It's just
Liverpool.
because we never beat them, so I feel like we don't know what it's like to beat them because it happens so rarely.
It's Chelsea for me. It's always Chelsea for me.
Yeah. I said Man U myself just because they're one of the biggest clubs, literally one of the top 5 biggest clubs in the world as like fan base wise, supposedly fan base. If you well, that's another story for another time. But anyway, beating one of the biggest clubs in the world, we can't beat Real Madrid or Barcelona. We don't play them. We can't beat PSG because we don't play them.
Anyway, they have fans anyway. Don't worry about that.
That's what I'm saying. But my point is we can beat Man U, and when we do, just think about all those millions and billions of fans across the globe that are crying. They're weeping when West Ham beats them. That feeling just makes me feel so warm inside.
I know. There is no better feeling than that last game at Upton Park. I mean, that game was insane. That game was insane.
All right. So I said what sound makes you happy. What is your favorite curse word?
Probably fuck. I say that one a lot. Yep.
You got that one. Most versatile word too. Now, I already said what team do you beat? Oh, I'm dyslexic tonight, man. Name a player, past or present, that epitomizes West Ham to you.
It's got to be Mark Noble. It has to be Mark Noble.
Most likely, yeah.
He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's everything West Ham, came through the academy, and just is the ultimate player. The fans love him. The management love him. He's the face. He's the face of the club. He's like our homegrown, homemade talent that's so passionate about the club, and he stayed here his whole life. It's insane to think about that in today's soccer transfer market world. Everybody's leaving and going.
In any sport, really, to be honest with you. Yeah, in any sport. That's outrageous. So
amazing to have him play for one club his whole career.
Final question is if you could take a time machine back to experience anything West Ham related, when and where to be?
So I haven't been a fan for that long, obviously, but I know actually I would go back to that playoff final that we got up that we went up with Ricardo Vaste.
Yes, why not?
That's what I said.
I would go to that game because that scene.
A West Ham fan.
The lid looked like it was just blown off Wembley.
Exactly.
That would have been so much fun to go to.
We've had a couple people who've actually been to that game, and they said the same exact thing. Well, they didn't say that they would go back to that game in the time machine, but they said that unsurmountable, passion and the atmosphere was just incredible. Now I picked that game as well because I started following religiously halfway through the season before. Okay. So the first full season that I started, following them was that 11-12 championship season.
Wow.
And I remember literally on a dresser in my room, I had my laptop because I get the best reception anyway. I had some stream where these pop-up ads kept coming and I'm trying to watch the game and it was a frustrating game. But then the finish, it doesn't matter if the game sucked because everybody says, oh, but the game was shit. Oh, we almost lost it. But we won. That's the point. The ending of that game plus the atmosphere. I mean, that is exactly why I would go back to that. Because you experienced that last bit of the game and then experience the whole atmosphere afterward. I'd go.
Insane.
Anyway, yeah, that's enough about me. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. We're over time, and I got to get to bed. So anyway, listen, Lee, awesome as always, my buddy. Good seeing you again. We'll chat soon. And Ben, pleasure having you on.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was honestly really fun.
Thank you. Really appreciate being here.
Yeah, it's really fun to connect with other fans. Honestly, it's so hard. I mean, it's easier to do it nowadays, but like it's awesome to connect and talk about West Ham with fellow Americans. It's amazing.
If we have any match preview shows or anything like that where we need extra guests and stuff, since you've already been on the show, we don't have to interview you again. If you'd be more than welcome to come back on at some point, we'll figure out.
Thank you. Honestly, I would love to. I'd love to. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Man. Awesome. Well, to everybody in the chat room, like Lucas from DC Irons and Neil and Gabe and Charlie and Richard Walton came in, man. Good seeing you. Who else was in here? Well, a lot of people. But listen, thank you guys for keeping the chat room alive. I love seeing that, and it keeps growing every single episode. Please, if you could, people who are watching, if you haven't clicked the subscribe button, please do like and share the video so other people can see it. If you think that you might know someone who might want to watch our content, we put out videos almost every single day. Also, I got to mention drinkwaredesign.com. They make these fancy mugs. Look how shiny that is and fantastic. It's so cool, man. And you can put whatever you want on there or even in there. You know, it's your choice. And also, special thanks to Kevin from the Columbus E13. He's also, he's got a print company too that you should check them out at Fireball Design. I think fireballdesign.com. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description. Also, we got some t-shirts for sale. The original one with just the logo on it, and also the one with the logo that has American Hammers TV around it, and then West Ham United supporters, Overland and Sea on the back. Multiple colors, multiple styles, super premium, smooth quality hoodies, long sleeves, etc. You can find both, the links on bonfire.com/AHTV-2.
Or you can go to our website, which is
our website. That link in particular is on the website, but the other link, I'm not sure if it's on the website or not, is bonfire.com/American Hammers TV. That's the original logo one. Yeah, that's the original logo one. We need to sell some of those too. Pretty soon, we're going to have American Hammers radio shirts with the logo on the front. For those who don't listen to Kyle from Fresno and what's his name, Zach from Maryland, they do an awesome job. It's really funny. It's only half an hour long. Their episodes do it once a week. They are having great fun over there on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play Music. Not iTunes. Fuck you, iTunes. What else? We got some more stuff in the way.
It is. It's the worst.
We do have a show tomorrow night. I'm thinking about doing a special episode, just changing things up a bit. I know Wednesday we got a guy from Boston, and Thursday we got another guy from the Boston area. So we're bringing it local to us. But, we got new people to talk to, so that's great. If you've never been on the show before, if you're watching this live or late, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're a Hammer and you want your voice to be heard and you want to share your story with our viewers, do it. So come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.